All right, so today is a special day. It is day 100 of the year. 100 days have went by since the end of last year, 2024. We are 100 days as of today into 2025. So I've been looking forward to this day for a long time because I've been making plans to kind of do things different. So I'm right in schedule with where I wanted to be going into this 100th day. So back on January 1st, I know I talked about the Rumble and the Rumblers and stuff like that, and how all that's going. But basically, I also said that this time is going to be different. Your Rumble is your own personal journey. So even though there's some out there that really want me to compete, I'm not competing. This year, I wanted to do things in a different way. And I got to be honest with you, I kind of used the Rumble as a distraction a little bit, because I also said that I wanted to, try my methods of weight loss, which is calories. I mean, I know I got other things going on, but basically my weight loss is low calorie, calorie deficit. I eat something every day, and I'm my low right now is 52 pounds of weight loss. I'm slightly above that as of today. I'm sitting right at 49. I fluctuate, 3 pounds up, 3 pounds down. That's normal for diet, especially when you're doing refeeds off of a fasting or off of heavier fasting and stuff like that. So, calorie cycling and intermittent fasting are my main two things, and I've not really deviated from that. I'm not really deviated from that at all, other than, I'm avoiding red meat and stuff now, because of allergies and stuff, But look, my face is clearing up. Bumps on my face is clearing up good. I was looking rough for a few days there. Walking also I've been doing a lot. That's the big difference maker right there for me. Walking 10,000 steps a day at least, at the minimum. Sometimes, I'm getting way beyond that. Sometimes I'm getting around anywhere from 15 to 20 steps in a day, but 10,000 is the minimum that I try to shoot for. And that's going good. Moving more, eating less is what's really been helping me as far as diet is concerned. I know people don't want to hear that, but I'm getting off topic a little bit here. This is going to be a spend the day with me type of video. Unfortunately, I didn't bring my latchkey cam with me today. I decided to bring my camera and microphone set up. There's so much I want to say, and it's just hard for me to put together. When I started this, I was going to do the 180 days. The carnivore kip guy. I like the kid. He's on his own weight loss journey, and he provided, a 180-day challenge. It was mainly for carnivores, but I thought, I would chime in and then jump into the challenge of 180 days and see where that led me. So I'm not sure where he is right now. He looks slimmer to me. I'm not sure what his last recorded weight is, but I kind of admire that about him. not recording his weight all the time, and not making that an issue, because, there's some people that really celebrate your victories, and then there's people, who use that against you. And talking about, I listen, I don't need nobody's praise or flowers or any of that stuff in order to feel good about my weight loss. Trust me, I feel good right now about my weight loss. So, for the next 80 days, I'm going to take a page out of Kip's book. Now, I'm not going carnivore, so don't get all excited there. But I'm going to stay off of that scale for the next 80 days. Now, don't worry, I do have other methods that I can show you where weight loss does occur. I've got the belt that I bought. You ever heard the old saying, tighten the belt? So I got me a new belt that we can put on. It just barely fit. But unfortunately, now I think I can actually fit the first and second hole of that belt. I have to put it on when I get home today in this video. In a little while, you'll be seeing me do that. And try to find me some kind of permanent marker so I can mark it up, But, every time I conquer a belt hole, then there'll be time for a new belt. When you buy a belt, you have to upsize the belt size from whatever waist size you're wearing in jeans. So, I think the belt that I got at home right now, I'll have to clarify that in just a little bit. I think it's like a 44 waist belt, which puts me somewhere around 42 to 40 inch waist right now, which is very good. I've come down a long way since, and like I said, I don't think the belt fit at all. I don't think I could fit that belt at all when I bought it, but I can now. I can fit it now. At least the first hole for sure. I'm not sure about the second hole yet, but definitely the first hole for sure. And that's kind of like a good way to measure your waist weight and see where you're going in your waist. It's definitely a non-scale victory. But what we want to do is get to that last hole, and then just throw that belt away and buy a new one. Belts are cheap nowadays. You can buy belts at dollar stores cheaper than you can buy some cheeseburgers out there. But yeah, it's day 100 of the year. I want to do things a little different. Now, I ain't going to be showing that belt all the time. It's not going to be an every week thing or anything. Maybe once a month or so. So, I'll probably show it today. And then, I'll show it in a few weeks, something like that, if I feel like it, if I want to. It depends. But yeah, I'm definitely going to do things a little different. I'm under 300. I was under 300 like last week, into last week. I thought about, doing a weigh-in at the end of this month and stuff. But, just here lately, things have gotten on my mind. Watching other dieters do different. And that's another thing, too. I try to subscribe to people that actually look like they need to lose weight. Those are the people you can actually trust when it comes to weight loss in their diets. I mean, yeah, they're professionals. They give you good advice or whatever, but you find the people that are actually struggling in their weight loss journey, and you'll see what's really going on with that diet. For sure. You'll see exactly how things are going on weight loss journeys for the ones who are brave enough to put it out there. So I've been, trying to subscribe, and my subscriptions are open. You can see who I'm subscribed to. I've been trying to subscribe to people who actually need to lose the weight lately and see how their journeys are going. So go through my subscriptions, and subscribe to some of the people that I'm subscribed to and tell them Latchkey sent you. They're probably not even going to know who I am. They're probably not going to care because I guarantee I'm not doing the diets that they are doing, and I follow that old worldly advice that I know works, And be careful about the advice that you're following nowadays. I mean, because at one time the advice everybody's following nowadays was the advice they were telling you at not long ago, not to follow, right? So you got to be careful about things, because I, as the Joker of my generation said, when it comes to those type of things, it's all about who can you trust. Jack Nicholson, the greatest Joker of all time, called let's play a game of who can you trust. Money, 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 hubba, 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 who can you trust? But yeah, it's like, climate control. I can't get too deep into it. Climate control, climate change, population control. Just be careful of the advice that you're giving, make sure. Listen, go into the old studies and look at, low cal, low fat, and why that was a thing, and make sure that's why they changed it, because they like to slip up on you a little later and say, uh-oh, we were wrong. You see a lot of low cal, you see a lot of low fat diets starting back up right now. I'm going to continue this when I get back out. Go in the grocery store, go get me something to eat to make it home, and we'll continue this over lunch and stuff. But yeah, just be careful. Look into everything. Just observe everything, It's easy to read the comments and, everybody says, oh, well, this is working, that's working. But, find the people who are actually struggling with weight loss. See what they're doing and see how things are going with them. And that'll tell you everything you need to know about weight loss for sure. Unless they're just choosing the topics for clicks and views, because that's also a thing. But you dig into enough of them, you'll find the ones that are serious and the ones that aren't. All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to the store to get us something to eat. Or give me something to eat. All right, I'm out of the store now. Got me some ground chicken and ground turkey I'm going to work up. This may be a two-part video again. I don't know, because I'm already like 11 minutes in or something like that, according to my camera here. And I didn't prepare well. My wireless microphone's dead, and this camera's not, it's about to go dead as well. So I may just make this a two-part video. This discussing, 100 days of the year gone, and the other part is going to be a eating celebration of 100 days of the year gone down, because, it's a reason to celebrate. Look, I've done lost 50 pounds. 50 pounds. Yeah. So I started out at 337. So at 327, that was 10 pounds. 317, that was 30. 307 was woo. 307 was 40. So 297, and like I say, I fluctuate up and down from that right now. So I'm teetering on the edge of 299. So I'm, but by the weekend, by the time my load gets here, I'll definitely be back under that. I have reached it as my low. Few days back on the scale, I was so proud. I started to jump on the scale and show it. I said, no, we almost to that 100 days. We almost to that 100 days out, So I was gonna, jump on it Sunday and do a lot of bragging. I said, nah, I don't need to brag. People see it. People, y'all know what's happening. All you gotta do is look at my face, my arms, everything. I've done lost a lot of weight. Inches are going down better this time than they did in 22 because of the walking, man. But here's the thing. I see a lot of influencers, they make the mistake. They jump on the camera, they're already skinny, and they start a cooking channel. And of course, the women, with the beautiful looks and everything, they're going to get instant attention and instant fame and fortune from it, talking about weight loss. And all they got to show is some before and after pictures and then pick a weight loss topic. But then, if you listen to them throughout their many videos, you'll catch fasting in there a lot. If they're doing keto or low carb or carnivore or vegan or any of that stuff, you'll catch fasting talk in there a lot. Which at that point, if you go, and then there's the ones that go away for a while. They were big on camera, come back and look at what this specific diet done. But then they talk about doing things like 3-day water fasts or prolonged dry fasting and eating one meal a day, fasting for 24 hours. I mean, honestly, if you eating one meal a day and you're fasting for 24 hours, you can pretty much eat anything you want. Providing that one meal does not go over, 3,000 or 4,000 calories in a setting. If you can keep it, an honest meal at 2,500 calories and under, and that's your only meal for the day. And most people are not going to be able to eat a full 2,000 calories in one sitting. Most people are not. All your weight loss is coming from your fasting. Sorry, science, backs me on that claim. No matter what diet you're doing, fasting also improves all those health markers, that are mentioned in all diets, including, if you're just look, I've lived a little while now. I'm 53 years old. I've lived a little while. My grandfather fought in World War II. On my mother's side, he fought in World War II. He lived his life as a gardener. He lived into his 90s. I mean, mid-90s, around 95, 94, 95, somewhere around there, I think. I could be wrong about the age, but it was definitely in the 90s. Somewhere between 90 and 95 he lived at. Definitely lived past 90. But if I had to guess, somewhere between like 93, 94, somewhere around in there. He's lived a long, full life. I mean, what more could you ask for? He ate vegetables that he grew in his own garden. He was proud of his garden. He ate vegetables that he grew in his own garden. He had to give up his gardening in his later years because he developed a cancer on his ear from the sun exposure. Too much sun exposure being outside. But it didn't stop him from eating vegetables. But yeah, he grew his own, and we ate vegetables from him plenty of time. Things he made with his vegetables. He's all proud of the work he done in his garden. Rightfully so. He ate Burger King Whoppers all the time, Arby's roast beef all the time. He didn't never really jump on any kind of specific diet, but walked around all the time. And I remember with my grandparents eating supper and stuff like that, and then going for long walks. People have quit doing that as a family now. I'm lucky that I got to see some of the old ways as a child and got to experience some of those things, because you don't see a lot of that going on anymore. Sunday dinner, and then go for a long walk afterwards. That long walk I used to hate. They'd make us go because they were going, so they had to watch over us. We had to go on that long walk too. I'd be struggling with my muscles by the time I got back. But it was all for our good, and we just didn't know it at the time. But yeah. Now that I think about it, they only ate like maybe 3 meals a day at most, A little breakfast, a lunch. And I mean, he carried a light lunch, with him. Whatever leftovers he had, sometimes, be something like maybe a sandwich and a banana. He had one of those Stanley thermos lunchbox and mugs, that he carried with him all the time. Wished I could have got my hands on that. I'd carry that with me around with pride if I had that lunchbox and thermos now and use it. I would use it. But yeah, he did that. He carried his soup in it. Stuff that they done a good job of keeping his food warm, hot or cold or whatever, He carried a banana, maybe one of those marshmallow pies that Little Debbie makes, kind of like a moon pie, but the banana flavored ones, yeah. He used to scold us when we get into that because that was his specific snack he would take for work. He'd just take one a day. Was very cautious about not overeating too much. But also, he liked to get satisfied in his eating habit. He did not die a very large, obese man. He had times in his youth that I can remember where he was up and down in weight, maybe not as bad as me, but, he had his moments where he would be a little on the heavy side, but he always fought him back down. Learned a lot from the old man. And he was a ruthless old man when it comes to telling you about your weight now. He didn't sugarcoat nothing. I can remember family members going up to him and saying, and this is what stopped me from doing it, learning from their mistakes. They're like, Papa, I lost 10 pounds. He'd say, oh, well, that's real good. You need to lose about 10, 15, 20 more. Listen, you were better off letting them old eyes see you and telling you that you've lost weight than you were to announce any kind of weight loss you've done to him. And that's what I'm doing. I'm not going to try to announce it to any of y'all guys anymore. Maybe at the end of the year, or maybe at the end of the 80 days, I will do that. This next 80 days of the 180 that they challenged, that the challenge was put out for, at the end of this 80 days, I will do a weigh-in. How about that? Until then, we'll mess with the belt a little bit here and there. Just so it don't get too boring. But yeah, we 100 days in, and these are the thoughts that I am having and sharing with you. Hope you enjoyed them. See you for some food later on. Alright, folks, that's all I got for this one. So until the next one, y'all have a good one.